Jaws, 1975, is more than a film. It's a landmark Steven Spielberg's thriller ushered in the era of summer blockbusters, terrifying audiences and drawing them to theaters in record numbers. Nearly 50 years later, the film still holds a special place in popular culture. But what about the cast? Some disappeared from Hollywood, others met tragic fates, and still others achieved even greater success. In this film, we'll take a look at their current situation and how they've changed over the years. Let's begin. Roy Scheider as Martin Brody. Roy Scheider was born on November 10, 1932, in Orange, New Jersey. At age 42, he starred in the 1975 film Jaws as Martin Brody, the courageous Amity police chief, who faces the terror of a great white shark while fighting to protect his community during a stormy summer. This performance marked a milestone in his career, creating a strong yet fragile character that left a deep impression on audiences prior to his role. In Jaws, Roy had been nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of dashing police officer Buddy Russo in The French Connection, 1971. He then cemented his place in All That Jazz, 1979, where he brilliantly portrayed the passionate dancer Joe Gideon, earning him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. However, his professional career was far removed from his turbulent personal life. He married Cynthia Baboot in 1962 and had a daughter together. However, after 24 years, the marriage ended in 1986. In 1989, he rekindled his love with Brenda Seymour and they had another son. Later, Roy battled multiple myeloma, a hidden but devastating form of cancer that gradually weakened him. He passed away at the age of 75 on February 10, 2008, in Little Rock, Arkansas. Lorraine Gary as Ellen Brody. Lorraine Gary was born on August 16, 1937, in New York City. At age 38, she starred as Ellen Brody in the 1975 film Jaws, playing Martin Brody's wife, with a subtle emotional depth that balanced the film's intense horror scenes. Her role extended beyond the first film, reprising the role in Jaws 2, 1978, and Jaws: The Revenge. 1987, cementing her position as one of the series' most recognizable characters. In addition to Jaws, Lorraine appeared in Steven Spielberg's films 1941, 1979 as Joan Douglas, a grieving wife in a war comedy, and in Car Wash 1976, demonstrating her versatility in lighthearted comedy. Looking at her personal life. Lorraine Gary's story is one of stability and success. In 1957, she married Sid Sheinberg, a powerful executive at Universal Pictures, and had 2 children. After retiring from the screen, Lorraine, now 88, chose to live a private life with her family. Richard Dreyfuss as Matt Hooper. Richard Dreyfuss was born on October 29, 1947, in Brooklyn, New York. At just 27, he brought a burst of energy to the role of Matt Hooper in Jaws 1975, playing a clever young oceanographer whose scientific curiosity is the key to hunting a giant shark. The role catapulted him to stardom, leading to his Oscar-winning portrayal of Elliot Garfield, the charming but troubled musician in The Goodbye Girl, 1977. His career continued to flourish, earning him another Oscar nomination for Mr. Holland's Work, 1995, in which he played the inspirational music teacher Glenn Holland. Beyond his career, Richard Dreyfuss also faced significant personal challenges. He married 3 times. His first marriage from 1983 to 1995 was to Jeremy Rain, with whom he had 3 children. Then came Janelle Lacey from 1999 to 2005, and finally Svetlana Erokin from 2006. His turbulent personal life was marked by mental health issues, including bipolar disorder, which he discussed openly, and cocaine addiction. In the 1980s, he was 78 in 2025 and is still a living legend of American cinema. Robert Shaw, Forte Vi. Quint. Robert Shaw was born on August 9, 1927, in West Houghton, Lancashire, England. At 47, he played the tough shark hunter Quint in Jaws 1975, and his poignant Indianapolis monologue became one of the most memorable moments in film history. His talent extended far beyond Jaws, with standout performances as the ruthless assassin Red Grant in Russia versus Love 1963, and the cunning crime boss Doyle Lonnegan in The Sting 1973. He was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role as Henry VIII in The Man Who Didn't Lose His Life. 1966. Demonstrating his impressive breadth and depth of acting talent, Robert Shaw's personal life, however, was complicated and filled with tragedy. He married 3 times. First with Jennifer Bork from 1952 to 1963, with whom he had 4 children. Then with Mary Ure from 1963 to 1975, a marriage that also produced 4 children but ended in heartbreak when she died of an overdose. And finally with Virginia Jansen from 1976, with whom he had 2 more children. Battling severe alcoholism for many years, his health gradually deteriorated. Just 3 years after filming Jaws, he died of a heart attack at the age of 51 on August 28, 1978, in Tormachiady, Ireland. Jeffrey Kramer as Hendrix. Jeffrey Kramer was born on August 15, 1945, in New York City. At age 30, he played Hendrix in Jaws 1975, a loyal subordinate who assists Martin Brody in battling sharks, bringing a touch of levity to the film's tense moments. He reprised the role in Jaws 2, 1978, cementing his place in the franchise. In addition to acting, Jeffrey also distinguished himself as a producer, winning an Emmy for his work on Ally McBeal 1997-2002, where he co-created one of the most iconic television series of the 1990s. At 80, he enjoys a quiet life after many years of hard work. Murray Hamilton as Al. Larry Vaughn Murray Hamilton was born on March 24, 1923, in Washington, North Carolina. At 52, he played Larry Vaughn in Jaws, 1975, the stubborn mayor of Amity who prioritizes the town's economy over public safety. He created a memorable and frustrating character, blending elements of horror and comedy. His talent extended far beyond this role. He made an unforgettable impression as Mr. Robinson in The Graduate, 1967. The betrayed husband in the famous love story starring Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft. Murray Hamilton's personal life was much more stable than that of a typical Hollywood film. In 1951, he married Terry DeMarco and had a son, maintaining a stable marriage throughout his life. However, his health was not as good. He battled lung cancer, a chronic disease that gradually weakened him. Murray died at age 63 on September 1, 1986, in Washington, North Carolina. Susan Backlini, MVI, Chrissy Watkins. Susan Backlini was born on September 1, 1946, in Miami, Florida. At 29, she played Chrissy Watkins in the 1975 film Jaws: The First Shark Victim in the Hawaii. Film's chilling opening scene, which not only shocked audiences, but became a symbol of underwater horror as a professional stunt woman. Susan used her skills to make the scene so realistic that Spielberg once said she was perfect for the role. She then appeared in The Big Muppet Show 1981, showcasing her swimming skills in a comedic scene. Despite a modest career in Hollywood, Susan Backlini led a quiet and stable life. In 1975, she married Harvey Kars, and their relationship lasted for decades, far from the industry spotlight. Now 79, she enjoys a quiet life far from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Robert Nevin is a medical examiner. His birth date is estimated to be November 15, 1914, based on transcripts. At age 61, he played the coroner in the 1975 film Jaws. The coroner appears in a brief but crucial scene that helps explain the cause of death of the first victim and fuels the shark-themed horror film. Despite his limited screen time, his presence adds a touch of realism to the film. Sadly, he passed away at age 82 on March 6, 1997. Fritzi Jane Courtney as Mrs. Taft. Fritzi Jane Courtney was born on February 15, 1923, in Harlem, New York. At age 52, she played Mrs. Taft in the 1975 film Jaws. Her brilliant Amity hotelier asks the iconic question at a town meeting: "Are you going to close the beach, reflecting the residents' fear of the impending shark threat. Her role wasn't limited to the first film. She continued in Jaws 2, 1978, and Jaws: The Revenge, 1987, becoming one of the few actresses to appear in 3 installments of the franchise. In addition to Jaws, she worked for NBC's Channel 6, becoming the first female theater critic in New England. She also had supporting roles in Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby, 1968, and the beloved musical Annie, 1982. Reflecting on her personal life. Fritzy Jane. Courtney had an inspiring journey. She married Robert Cohen, whom she met at a USO event. During World War II, in 1946, they moved to Maine, where they raised their daughter Jill S. Cohen. As the years passed, her health deteriorated. She passed away on August 7, 2012, in Portland, Maine, at the age of 89. Chris Rebello was born on August 8, 1963, in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts. At just 12 years old, he starred as Michael Brody in the 1975 film Jaws. As Martin Brody's eldest son, he brings innocence and warmth to the film, Looking. Back at Chris Rebello's life, his journey took an unexpected and brief turn. After his first role, he chose a normal life away from the Hollywood spotlight. Sadly, in 2000, Chris passed away from a heart attack at the age of 37 on November 30th in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, where he was born and raised. Jay. Mello plays Sean Brody. Jay. Mello was born on June 16, 1968, in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts. At age 7, he played Sean Brody. In the 1975 film Jaws, Martin Brody's youngest son, bringing an innocence and charm that broke the tension of the film. Like Chris Rebello, Jay was recruited from the local community of Martha's Vineyard, and his role fit naturally into the Brody family story. However, like Chris, it was his only notable role, as he never pursued a career in the industry. The 57 Jay has chosen a quiet life away from the glitz and glamour of show business after his brief stint in the spotlight. Lee Fierro as Mrs. Kintner. Lee Fierro was born on February 13, 1929, in the United States. Her exact birthplace is unknown. At age 46, she played Mrs. Kintner in the film Jaws 1975, a grieving mother who loses her son in a shark attack. She starred in an unforgettable scene in one of the film's most moving, in which she confronts Roy Scheider and punches him. Although best known for her film roles, Lee spent most of her career on stage, working for many years at the Island Theater Workshop in Martha's Vineyard. In her personal life, Lee Fierro was married with 5 children, balancing motherhood with her passion for acting. Her health declined with age, and she passed away at the age of 91 on April 5, 2020, in Aurora, Ohio. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Carl Gottlieb played Meadows. Carl Gottlieb was born in New York City on March 18, 1938. At age 37, he played Meadows in the 1975 film Jaws, a local Amity journalist. He played a small but memorable role, appearing in press materials supporting the shark horror film's plot. Carl had the distinction of not only starring in the film, but also co-writing it, working closely with Spielberg to transform the script into a masterpiece. In addition to Jaws, he also wrote the screenplay for Rats 1979, a hit comedy starring Steve Martin and Detroit. Doctor 1983, in which he starred alongside Dan Aykroyd. Carl 87 lives a quiet life, and Chris Rebello plays Michael Brody. Henry Carrero as Felix. Henry Carrero was born on August 15, 1920, in Massachusetts, USA, according to public records. At age 54, he played Felix in the 1975 film Jaws, a local fisherman who appears in a chaotic scene at the harbor while the townspeople hunt sharks, reflecting Amity's desperation and determination in the face of the imminent threat. Although his role was small, it contributed to a better portrayal of the community's response to the crisis. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 67 on November 23, 1987, in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Belle McDonald plays Mrs. Posner. Belle McDonald was born on May 12, 1910, in the United States, a date estimated based on scant sources. At age 65, she played Mrs. Posner in the 1975 film Jaws, a resident of Amity who appears briefly in crowd scenes, helping to create a sense of community in the town as it battles a shark infestation. Although her role was uncredited and she had little screen time, her presence contributed to Spielberg's efforts to create an authentic island town setting. Sadly, she died on October 15, 1991 at the age of 81.